Rani Rashmoni has almost become a legendary personality today. A well-known zamindar, philanthropist and feminist of the 19th century, she is remembered both for her pious, benevolent nature as well as her courage, intelligence and business acumen. Founder of the famous Dakshineswar Kali Temple, she is considered the Ahalyabai of Bengal. Born in a lower caste Shudra family belonging to the fishing community of today's Halisahar in Bengal, she lost her mother when she was 7 years old and owing to her beauty was married off at the age of 11 to a much older widower from a zamindar family, Babu Raja Chandra Das of Jan Bazar, Kolkata. However, her husband turned out to be an educated, liberal, progressive person who thought ahead of his time and encouraged her in all her philanthropic projects. He also involved her in the administrative matters of the zamindari estate, something unthinkable at the time, which she picked up with great acumen. Her husband's death in 1836 left Rani Rashmoni devastated, but she assumed the full responsibilities of their zamindari and family business. In the process, she had to face many clashes with the British rulers and defied their orders fearlessly, always getting her way owing to her intelligent strategies. She was a huge philanthropist, and while her charitable projects and contribution to society are remarkable, she also supported social reformers like Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar and Raja Ram Mohan Roy to do away with social evils pertaining to women like sati, child marriage, polygamy, etc., and encouraged women's education and widow remarriage. The Dakshineswar Kali Temple on the banks of the river Hooghly near Kolkata was built in 1855 by Rani Rashmoni, a devotee of Ma Kali. The temple went on to become so famous for its association with Sri Ramkrishna Paramhansa and his wife Ma Sarada Devi, with whom the Rani worked closely. It is here that Sri Ramkrishna stayed, worshipped and taught, sharing his famous Gospels in the form of simple fables for all to understand his high spiritual ideals. It is said that Rani Rashmoni was about to embark on a pilgrimage to Kashi to offer her puja to the Divine Mother Goddess when she got a dream that Ma Kali is telling her not to go anywhere but to establish her image in a beautiful temple on the banks of the Ganges and worship her here for her to accept the Rani's puja. Thereafter, Rani Rashmoni immediately acquired a vast plot of land in Dakshineshwar near Kolkata, partly from an Englishman who had his garden house there and partly from an old Muslim burial ground, to build the sprawling 9-pired temple which took 8 years and rupees 9 lakhs at that time. However, no Brahmin was ready to be a priest in the temple of a Rani with a Shudra origin. Ramkumar Chattopadhyay, a pious Hindu priest who was also very knowledgeable about the Shastras, became the head priest. He, however, died the very next year and the position was given to his younger brother, Gadadhar Chattopadhyay, who went on to become the celebrated Ramakrishna Paramhansa to everybody. Hundreds of people were attracted to this superhuman personality, even as a blazing fire attracts moths from all quarters. They listened with the deepest reverence to his words of wisdom, uttered by one who had realized God and lived in constant communion with the Divine Mother. He had a huge number of devotees, among them his biggest disciple, a 19-year-old college student called Narendra, whose dreamy eyes and superior mindset transcended worldly things, and yet who was the sharpest and most critical. He who was to later become the world-renowned Swami Vivekananda. It is believed that Sri Ramakrishna became so desperate for a vision of Ma Kali that after days of meditation without food or sleep, when he failed to do so, he wanted to end his life in anguish and rushed for a sword that was hanging on the temple wall. But, it is said, he suddenly got a dazzling vision of the goddess as the universal mother, which was so blinding to the eye and overwhelming an experience that he fainted there and then. Ramakrishna's famous spiritual ecstasies or samadhis were to become an everyday experience for him gradually. Sri Ramakrishna is himself considered an avatar or a reincarnation of the divine himself, an embodiment of both Lord Rama and Lord Krishna, hence Ramakrishna. Om Tat Sat, which means God is the Supreme Reality.